Whew, that's heavy. Hey everyone, welcome to Bonsai Acres. Boy, it's been a couple of days of stellar weather in Minnesota after a lot of heat this summer. We actually had highs only in the 70s, even in the metro for a couple of days. And up here, the temperatures at night into the 50s. Beautiful sleeping weather, as we say in Minnesota often. And I'm sitting on my trailer back door. And I don't know if you can tell when I opened it on the open, but really heavy. It's really heavy because these guys are not tight. So just like on your garage door, you got a spring up here on the trailer and things went awire. Things went astray. Things went a little crooked. So here's why. I have a really dear friend in the bonsai community and she's become a good friend of mine. We've got Sarah from Rising Phoenix, you know, the potter I've been telling you all about for the last year, making phenomenal pots. And so that's for a different episode, but check her out, Rising Phoenix. I'll put links and stuff below if you want some great pots. She's shipping them all over the place now. Her mom was getting rid of a tractor. Can you see this beauty? Now, I don't know much about tractors. From what I gathered from Sarah's mom and brother, who were nice enough to give me one steal of a deal for this gem. This is a John Deere 318 tractor. Now, if you're into John Deere, if you're into tractors, you're going like, wow, that's a great unit right there. That's a great tractor, lawnmower. I have no idea. I'm trusting them. And so the reason why this caused me to be over there at the trailer was because I dropped this off here at the property just about a week ago, all excited, and I was backing out of the trailer real nice and slow. And you know when you're in a new car or somebody else's car by chance and you have to parallel park or make a left or a right-hand turn in tight quarters and you don't know the size of your car, you know, until you've driven your car for months and years, you don't know what quite spot you can fit into. You know where this is going. So the 318 was beautifully, slowly eased off of the trailer, and then I put it into forward, and it's a little jumpy, and I'm new to it, and I don't know how big it is, and I went to turn the corner to get away from the trailer. Well, I didn't back out far enough away from the trailer, and as I curved to the right, one of the lawnmower wheels right at the edge, I didn't know my turning radius. It grabbed the wire from the door, pulled it, and of course, because it was jerky, and and it kind of took it off the reel, the spool, right? So let's go back over there and tell you what we're going to do. That tractor is for another time. So it has been so dry here, I'm talking maybe 1/4 of an inch of rain in the last 4 to 6 weeks. It's dry up here, and because of that, well, good news is I don't even have to cut the grass because it's just not growing in this heat. There are some long spurts here and there. I did sit on the tractor and go around a couple of times and lower the old blades, and I got a little bit of grass cut, the driveway especially. But yeah, I won't be cutting for quite a long time. But this I should fix sooner rather than later. This door is heavy. You know, I can lift it now. You don't need the wires, but oh my gosh, this just makes it like a garage door. You can lift it up hopefully with one hand. And anyway, so I've loosened up the coil. I've got these back on. I've got to line them up and reposition them because I tried to put it on yesterday and I failed. I watched a couple of YouTube videos, which is where I learn most of my stuff if I don't know what I'm doing. And it's very similar to a garage door spring if you've ever done those before. But it's nicer because I can reach everything without a ladder. Super nice. But these springs when you're doing all the cranking, if you've ever done that, very dangerous. You let go, I could poke a hole through the roof of my trailer. I could, worse, break my arm. You know, it's sensitive stuff. So this morning, before it gets too crazy here, it's only about 7 o'clock in the morning, I gotta fix this. It's nice and cool, and I'm gonna see if I can get this going. Now, I rewatched a couple videos last night. I hope this will only take one more shot, and we'll fix up my trailer so I can lift up the door with one hand. That's the test. All right, stay with me, y'all. So let me remind everybody that this is a dangerous task. And so even the people that do this for a living, when they make videos about this, they say don't do this on your own unless you're feeling very comfortable, and be very, very safe, and maybe have a professional do it. Now, I've done about 3 garage doors in my time, and I got a pretty good handle of the torque and the feel for it. So I've gone on and tried these on my own. And if I absolutely can't do it, I'm gonna bring this into the trailer shop and they're gonna fix it for me. But I gotta give it a try, and I'm gonna be careful. So they have 2 drums, one on this side, one on that side, and this is where the cable wraps around. And once it's wrapped around tight and the spring is all torqued up and ready to go, twisted around, it's gonna lift this and spin this around the cable and lift up the door pretty nice and easily, right? So the way I've learned is you don't have to take both of these drums off, but you can go ahead and unscrew these 2 bolts right here, and this can come right off, both sides. But this one is gonna stay right where it's at. It's gonna stay nice and taut. I'm gonna double check that right now with my handy dandy piece of, there you go, wrench tool. And just make sure this is nice and tight on here. And you don't have much room to move on this. This is kind of tricky. All right, so that's good and tight. So that one can stay tight. So with the cable connected down below, I've got to thread this in, and then I'm gonna have to tighten this up. And then, I don't know if this one's big enough yet, but it's the only one I have, I think, at the moment, is you need a vice grip. Actually, I'm gonna double check to be extra safe to see if I have a second vice grip. So you need a vice grip to connect to this bar right here. So we're gonna make sure that this fits right now, but can be a tight fit when you close it. Maybe it's gonna be too small of a vice grip. Let's see. This might be too small. I don't have a big enough vice grip, but I do have a nice pipe wrench that's gonna hold on real nice. So this is gonna grip on right here, and I can just leave it tight right here. As close, well, I'll put it on in a moment, but I can put this right here, and when the tension is released, it's gonna go up like this, and it's gonna hold it right there. Now this isn't the big tension, this is just kind of gonna hold it from this being loose and wobbly, okay? So I'm gonna put this in my back pocket. I need my tool belt, y'all. I haven't been using my tool belt up here very much. So here we go. So we're gonna go ahead and give this a spin and a twirl, and we're gonna make this super tight as my grip can make it. Just like that, it goes around these pre-grooves as tight as I can get it. And I've only got a couple more spins, and it's gonna be taut to the bottom of the door, down by the ground down there, and there we have it. So as I twist this way, it tightens it up. All right, so if I go ahead and put this here, and tighten this up as much as I can, maybe I should go this way. No, that's not working. I guess I don't need that tension quite yet. So this has to be a little more taut, although this side is going to be about the same looseness. So as long as it doesn't come unraveled, I'm okay. And so it's tight on there. We're good at the moment. I'll do this. I'll put it on this way. Oh, there we go. There. So now, see, a little tweaking. Just got to figure that out. Twist this on. I put it on backwards. Was able to twist this while I held it taut. And now it's just a little bit more taut. So that side's done. So now we have to go to the other side. Now I want everybody to be reminded that this string can have a lot of torque on it, right? This spring. But this spring right now is not attached to the bar. It's loosened up. So this has no torque on it. So we're just putting these 2 end pieces on with no torque, no spin. We're in good shape. So Let me go ahead and loosen up this side. Now, some of you might be wondering why I'm doing this the hard way with a little wrench like this. I got a 7/16 wrench on this square bolt. It's because I don't have any 12-point socket set size that fits this. And so I have to do it this way, unfortunately. But if you take your time and get this piece in there, I'm just fine. And again, no torque on this. This is just in the spot it was in when the wire came off, right? So here we go. This can spin around freely. There's no groove that these bolts go into. It's just a round bar in this case. And so we're just gonna go ahead and make sure that this is in place. So this is cable number 2, spinning around the drum. We get our cable in there. And again, we're going to spin nice and firmly onto this threaded spool here. We want that to be nice and tight. And once it hits its tight, oh, please go around one more full rotation or I'm going to be crying. No, it's pretty darn close. Okay. Got to get my tool here now. So this one's pretty taut. Onto the bar. It's just on the bar right now, nothing else. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to secure these square bolts onto the bar, and this will hold this taut to the point where I can just leave it alone, and then we'll work on the spring. This back one is a little bit hard to get at, but as I've learned from the videos as well, that happens quite often. And so as long as you can get one tight, you're in good shape. And then the other one, you make a slight rotation and you can tighten that one up too. But I'm able to get in here now with my hands free and tighten up this second one. So I'm feeling good. They're both really taut and that makes me feel better. Because even though one can work for a little while, 2 is going to be better. Extra support, extra tight. There you go. So this is hard to see with the lighting in here, but I'm not worried about camera. I'm worried about my safety. I'm just going to do this and I'll explain it. But here's the spring. And the spring is loose. And here's 2 more squares right here and here by my thumb and finger. We got to tighten those up eventually once I get the torque on here. But so what we got to do is we got to rotate this anywhere from 6 to 10 full turns. And the more turns you do means more tension, which means this is easier or harder to lift up with one hand. And so the bolt is right here. This is the second bolt. There's one down here. When this first bolt, or the top of the 2, when that shows up here 6 times, I've gone around enough. So I'm not going to show all that on camera, but here we go. I go down, and it's disappeared. And I've got 2 half-inch rods. You put one in, you move it down and hold it in place. Now, as I do this, I'm getting more and more tension on this spring. And here comes the first time around. There we go. There's the bolt. That's 1 full turn. We got to do that 5 more times to get a minimum of 6. Now as I come around for 6 right now, I'm going to put this in my pocket in case I need it. I'm going to grab my tool out. I'm going to go ahead and start tightening. Now I'm going to tighten the bottom one first because if I slip here and have an accident, I'd rather have it hurt the trailer and not my arm. So I'm going to tighten this one first. It's relatively tight. I'm going to come around here and I'm going to go ahead and do this one next. And so you notice the bar, if the bar were to slip, it's not anywhere by my arm. And so I'm in pretty good shape here. And this is where you're going to give it some really good torque pulls here and make sure it's on that rod. All right. And then when you let go, tension is on there. These are holding it on there. This is tension, this is taut, this is tight. That is tight. Now the next test is to take this off. This is off. That did its job. Let's bring it where the lighting is better and do a test run. I have my regular lens on, so I don't have a wide angle, so I have to put the camera back there, but you should be able to see everything. And again, we wrapped around the coils loosely. The drums, the spools, that was loose. And then we torqued it and attached it to that bar. So if I'm going to lift this up and let this start to go up, it's going to try to unwind. It's already wound up tight. It's got to unwind to get up to there. So I should be able to lift this up with one hand. Okay, I heard looseness. I don't like that. Yep, we got it tangled up in there. So we have an issue. Yeah, that's not good. I think it wasn't enough pressure, and so it was a little bit hard with one hand. I'd like it to be a little bit easier, which means I would have had to torque it a little bit more, which would have had a little more pressure on it too, which would keep a little tighter. See, now it's loose. Now I can't let this go because it'll be way too heavy, so I have to close it, and I have to do this all over again. Okay. Right side on, left side on. Nice tension. Nice tension. A little harder here than here, which is good. This one had a little bit more dents in the wire, so it's nice to keep it taut and stretch it back out. The tension has been set into the coil, and I went around 8 times this time. So I went from 6 to 8, which was 4 more quarter turns twice, right? There you go. I can do my math. And we're going to go ahead and see. I hope it stays taut. Ooh, it's easier this time. So far, so good. It seems tight. It seems tight. Wow. 2 more full turns around made a huge difference. It's much more taut all the way up, but it's also lighter to lift up, one hand. And you'll notice when I let go, it's loose enough where it's going to just fall on its own. So I could make it a little bit tighter or a little bit looser so it doesn't fall down. I could go like a half turn and so it doesn't go down quite as fast. But I just have to always be ready for that. But it's a light door, and with one hand, I can easily stop this, and I know my trailer. I'm in good shape. Let's bring it back down. I go in here and I work on it. Tight, tight, tight. And I'm done working. One hand lifts it up. One side locked and secured. 2 side locked and secured. There we have it. That feels so good when I can do things by myself. You know, YouTube is just an amazing place to go find how to fix anything. And I had to watch these things several times, and I can't stress the safety of this. Now, again, I've done garage doors 2 or 3 times, a couple for myself. My dad, I helped him with 1 or 2, and this is the same concept. So once you've done it, you kind of know what to expect. And those tension rods, that's a lot of pressure. You could just feel it, and if one of those bars just slips, you'd be in trouble, right? So again, when I moved those bars, my arms were out of harm's way. If I were to have it slip and fall out, it just would have gone up and hit the roof. And that's what you want. You don't want to be going like this and just in close with your head. And so I was able to get that all secured and fixed. That is relief. I don't have to bring it in to get it fixed. I was able to do it by myself. It didn't cost me anything but time and just a little bit of stress and anxiety. But now I feel so much better, and that is fixed. Now, the grass isn't growing any faster, so I can't jump on that tractor. So what am I going to do up next at Bonsai Acres? Well, I'm almost ready to get the excavator. Now, He put it into the shop like 3 or 4 weeks ago and said it'd be a week or two, and it's now approaching 4 weeks. Sent him a text yesterday. I've been ghosted, no response, so I'll send him another text today. I don't want to be a pain in the butt, but I'm trying to schedule that excavator. But in the meantime, I'm going to make my marks. I got some spray paint, and we're going to make the marks where I'm going to dig so I know exactly what I'm doing when I'm on the excavator to save time when the time comes. Well, I was going to hold off on this because of the threat of rain. But if anybody's talked to me on the phone or text in the last 48 hours, well, 2 weeks to 48 hours, the weather systems keep going above me, below me, and there is a system that was coming right at me, just coming, oh my God, and I think it rained for about 5 minutes. I don't even think the ground got completely wet on the top layer. So that does nothing for the roots. It's already evaporated. It's been super frustrated. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray paint my markings. I went ahead and put in some posts in the ground, 8 feet apart for where the footings are gonna go. And then from each post, I'm gonna go 1.5 feet or so on either side, and I'm gonna spray paint a line. And when I get my excavator, he hasn't texted me back. It's Friday about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm gonna come in here with the excavator and I'm gonna scoop out 6 feet down, scoop out 6 feet down 5 times over. And then when that's done, well, we'll play with the machine because I have it all day, and we'll go do some other fun excavating. So I'm just gonna see if I can put some marks down. They don't have to be perfect. It'll just give me a general guideline with the excavator of where I wanna kind of stay, because now I don't wanna dig up and disturb any more dirt than I have to, you know, to fill in the garage or holes in the yard. That'll be from other places now because this is gonna be underneath the cabin. I don't want it to be loose soil as much as possible. So yeah, let's start spray painting, everybody. Three feet, so about 18 inches on either side. That's 1.5 feet and 1.5 feet. And so these current posts are about 2 feet past of where the original posts were in the ground. So I can start here and dig that way, and I've got plenty of room to be down underneath there and do some operating. So this is gonna be kind of a guess here. See how straight I can go, huh? Hey, that's pretty straight, not too bad. Now some of this is just going on dirt, some of it's going on the grass. As long as I can see it, I'll be all right. And wouldn't that be something if between now and the excavator we get a boatload of rain? But I'm going with the thought, I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen. Because it's not happened so far. So if it does change, that's awesome for me. That's even more awesome for the plants. Follow the yellow brick road. All right, I should be able to see that on top of the excavator. Well, that one's really crooked. Holy moly, Dave. Again, this is a guideline. If I'm close to this and I'm not quite there exactly, I'll be able to shovel, and you know, it won't be as hard once I've dug through the earth, gotten through the rocks. The shovel part will be mostly sand. I'll probably be a lot more straight with the good old excavator than I am right now with just eyeballing this. All right, it's starting to look like an athletic field here. So the first 3 went pretty good, got a little sloppy on the next 2. I'm gonna start from that side because that's the highest side. So when we're gonna dig down 6 feet, I'm gonna have a level here, and I'm gonna have an 8-foot post with a 6-foot spray painted mark on it. And when it's 6 feet down below this height right here, that's where we're gonna stop digging. About 6.5 feet, just in case. We can always put more dirt there to raise it up. Yeah, so we're gonna go down that one first, and then this one, 4 and 5. Yeah, and we're gonna have ourselves some holes, some craters, some channels where those boxes and all that cement gonna be mixed up and ready to make some footers to build this cabin. So I just got to hear from the excavator. So in the meantime, you know, just clear out some more areas, do some more prep, and it's the hurry up and wait syndrome. We'll take our time and do it right. All right.